Hi guys, here I come again with another Arcane analysis. This time it's about JINX and the Firelights. I'm really excited about posting this one. So when I first rewatched Arcane, I realized immediately that there was something hidden throughout Act 2 and 3, and that most people missed. I think I will be the first one to talk about it, since I haven't seen any video bringing up this fact yet. I guess it will be surprising for some of you, so please let me know what you think of it after you've watched the video. To start things first, I have to make a point about JINX'S childish side, obviously showing all through Act 2 and 3. We can see it all started with the first scene, where she appears as adult JINX. We can see in the way she shoots a death stare at SEVIKA that she doesn't like being looked down upon or lectured like SEVIKA did. It's probably because that reminds her of the way Milo bullied her as a child and how weak she felt back then when he used to do so. We can see throughout the rest of the show that JINX can't stand feeling weak or looked down upon. And it's actually one of the main reasons why she starts bombing things up. She feels so frustrated not to be able to respond to SEVIKA's provocations, or the fact that people and especially SILCO might think of her as weak, that she starts getting obsessed with this feeling of not wanting to be weak, like she felt constantly when she was a child. So, in a matter of fact, she gets obsessed with the need to get back at the people who made her feel like that. See for yourself. SEVIKA looks down on her and talks shit about her, and the only thing JINX thinks about is taking revenge on her.
There are always mishaps in battle. The Firelights were her target, and most are dead.
It wasn't a mishap. She froze up and lost her shit. I could have handled those brats. She's a problem and we all know it.
What happened?
She already told you.
We can see her express her resentment towards SEVIKA while she's in SILCO's office and then in her workshop. She's really mad at the woman, mocks her and belittles her, but she is frustrated because she can't take revenge on her yet, since SILCO told her to stay put. So for now, she lets her revenge aside, but still keeps it in mind. Most important thing for now is that she needs to prove SILCO that she's not weak, because that's how SEVIKA made her feel.
I'm gonna show him.
She doesn't want to appear weak to his eyes, so she sets up her progress day bombing to make things right and get noticed by him as someone who is useful, not weak, and who can work properly without mishaps. Now that this is done, and since she can't get back at SEVIKA yet, comes her plan for revenge on the Firelights, the second reason for her appearing weak to SILCO's eyes, because they are the reason for her losing control and making a mess, and therefore, having SEVIKA complain about her to SILCO. But we'll come back to it. Let's stay on SEVIKA for now. Later on, when she learns that SEVIKA was sent by SILCO on an unknown mission, she doesn't even have the patience to wait to know what that mission was, who were the girls they were looking for, or anything else. Before she went back at SEVIKA, not even caring about what the mission she was on really was about.
I feel like you and I got off on the wrong arm. Maybe we should try the other.
It was all an excuse to get back at her, since there was no way JINX would have guessed about Vi being one of the girls, so it's not like she would have been mad at SEVIKA just for her going on a mission for SILCO. No, JINX wanted revenge for what happened on the cargo, and what she heard SEVIKA say in SILCO's office, and she obviously took advantage of SILCO's absence to get back at her.
10 out of 10, Toots. I think I know just how to deliver that message.
We can see she takes great pleasure in taking her revenge on SEVIKA. She's shown smiling deviously, eyes shining with contentment, and she's clearly sighing in a way that makes us know she's thinking, "Sweet revenge, I've been waiting so long for it." She intended to make her pay in one way or another, at some point, and that was even before learning SILCO lied to her about her sister being back and alive. We can clearly see she's enjoying herself, taking sweet revenge on the way SEVIKA treated her these last years, looking down on her and despising her. So, that was for her revenge on SEVIKA, and as I'll show you, JINX takes revenge on whoever treats her badly, or makes her feel weak. Next, since all that cargo fiasco was because of the Firelights' intervention in the first place, and since she couldn't get back at SEVIKA yet, because SILCO told her to stay still and just focus on her gadgetry, she blamed the Firelights for making her appear weak to SILCO's eyes, and starts planning her revenge on them. We can see she actually starts working on that revenge way before the enforcers closed the bridge, and actually way before SILCO had the need for her to take care of the bridge's blocus that was slowing down his shimmer business. She works on that revenge all through Act 2 and 3. Moreover, we actually don't have any clue of SILCO asking JINX anything about bombing the bridge. She was already working on her idea of explosive butterflies on her own. before they even had the need for that. But were these butterflies really made for bombing the bridge? We can see that, right after the Progress Day bombing, during the Get JINX'D scene, JINX has already started crafting her soon-to-be explosive butterflies. She has already collected fluorescent Firelights essence, as to make them glow like firelights, and perhaps it is to make Piltover think the bombing will be Echo's gang doing, but actually, it wasn't JINX's plan. Because she had started working on those explosive butterflies before SILCO intended to mark us that the Firelights would be the perfect culprits to take the fall for JINX's bombing during the Progress Day.
The Firelights have been a thorn in both our sides. They ambushed my shipment at the Hex Gates on the same day as the attack. It seems to me the Council has its culprit.
JINX was already planning something in her head regarding these explosive butterflies that she wanted to glow like real firelights. Whatever it was, she wanted to get back at Echo's gang. She wanted to take revenge on the Firelights for the cargo fiasco that made her appear weak, sure. But perhaps the bridge wasn't the place she first had in mind for the explosion. Back to the chronology. The events happening then takes JINX to a paranoid path, and even though she has to concentrate on making the hextech device for SILCO, she's brought back to her weak self, after remembering her traumatic memories. SILCO has to bring her back to her strong self-esteem, and tells her to bury powder in the means to become the tough JINX she grown up to be. Strong and unwavering, and she gives herself into it, but then she learns SILCO's been lying to her too, and her doubts increase. She feels as if everyone is lying to her and betrays her.
She's a friend. SEVIKA wasn't lying? You're with an enforcer? This is a trick! You're playing!
On the cargo scene, we can clearly see that she's enjoying her fight with the Firelights, especially Echo, who she seems to target in particular, unless someone comes in the way. She starts losing it when the girl reminds her of Vi, but her main target was Echo, same as it was the second time she's met with the Firelights, where she again enjoys herself during the whole fight. That is until the moment she sees them take the gemstone. As she was just betrayed by Vi, who she thought came after her with an enforcer to take back that same gemstone, just like SEVIKA had implied, she then sees the Firelights take it, and her mind starts deteriorating, and being paranoid again from this moment. She stops completely, as she takes in the fact everybody's betraying her, and only want that gemstone. That is the moment where she stops enjoying the fight, and really starts getting angry. We can see she's not playing anymore, and enters killing mode, and the way she looks at Echo at the end of the fight really gives off the feeling of being betrayed again. Like she had felt a minute before with Vi and Caitlyn.
Was that why you came? For this stupid stone?
Back to the chronology of events. When JINX learns that SILCO lied to her about Vi, she disappears and goes to light up the flare. At the same time, the bridge is blocked by enforcers. If we watch SILCO's scenes after that, we can see SILCO is stressed, because JINX hasn't come back since she tied SEVIKA to the ceiling. So he knows JINX is aware of Vi being alive, and he's stressed at the thought of her reuniting with her sister.
I need to find JINX.
Sir,
What?
she'll come to you when she's ready.
He says he needs to find JINX, but SEVIKA stops him, and tells him she'll come to him when she's ready. The scene just after this one is JINX coming back from the fight with the Firelights. As she comes back wounded to her workshop, after the Firelights again made her feel weak, since she lost the gemstone and Vi in the process, we can see a Firelight is following her, as to show us she's been harvesting them to extract their glowing features, since there is little chance that those glowing insects end up living in the cave she seems to have set her workshop into. We can see on her desk that there are many of her butterfly prototypes, which now have the ability to slightly move their wings, as she was already working on making them fly. She had been working on them since the Get JINX'D scene, and she's still crafting them, even though she didn't know the bridge was blocked, since it was blocked at the same time she lit up the flare, so just before that scene. In her rage, and through her feeling of being betrayed again, and her desire for revenge being intensified by the previous events, and everyone lying to her, she looks at the flying firelight on top of her, and points her fingers at it, as if to make a gun. Indicating she's holding a grudge, and will somehow get back at them. The Firelights who made her appear weak twice, and took Vi away from her. Because yes, she doesn't know if she can trust SILCO anymore, but she also just lost the gemstone that the Firelight stole from her, so she knows that at one point, she'll have to tell SILCO about it, and that, to her mind, will make her appear weak again. JINX still hasn't seen SILCO since she learned Vi was back, nor since the bridge was blocked by the enforcers. Later, SILCO attends the meeting in Zon. There, when asked about his incapacity of settling things up regarding the bridge blocus, he tells them that JINX will take care of it, but he actually has no clue about where's JINX, or what she is doing, let alone having talked to her, or tell her he needed her to bomb the bridge. Jinx hasn't come back yet, and they haven't talked since Jinx learned that he lied to her about Vi. So, when the bridge wasn't blocked yet, Jinx finally comes back to get the truth out of SILCO. And as he successfully managed to calm her down and bring her back to his side, she decides to get back at the Firelight and get back the gemstone before SILCO finds out anything about it. Because when he tells her that she needs to complete the weapon, he seems unaware that she'd lost the gemstone and that it is therefore impossible for her to complete that weapon. And it is the reason why she looks so desperate and guilty at the same time when he asks her that. She then calms down and takes her decision before shooting him in the eye with the shimmer medicine and then leaves hurriedly. Because she knows the most important thing now is to get back the gemstone so that she could make SILCO proud and complete his weapon. Her mind now is entirely set on the Firelights, from whom she needs to get back the gemstone. Now, there's one thing I wondered. How come Jinx knew exactly when to get to the bridge at the same time Echo, Caitlyn, and Vi did? Did she follow them from the Firelights' hideout? What we knew from there was that SILCO asked for Jinx to complete the weapon, and she was in such a chaotic state of mind that she probably felt too weak and guilty to be able to tell him she couldn't complete it because she had lost the gemstone. She left his office right away with the thought of getting the gemstone back before SILCO learned about it. And next, she's seen in the exact place where Echo, Kate, and Vi appear. It would make no sense that the scene just after SILCO asked her to complete the weapon would be her taking care of the bridge's blocus by bombing it, when clearly, her main priority was to get the gemstone back. So, obviously, for her to know exactly where and when it would be, it means she knew where the Firelights' hideout was all along. And dropped ears on their conversation and their plan. While standing on that high spot on the bridge scene, she obviously was waiting for something, or perhaps, someone. And that something is clearly not her glowing butterflies arriving to bomb the bridge. She even had a device to be able to look things up from afar, like she was waiting to eye drop on something. Actually, what happened is simple. She obviously knew Vi and the others were coming this way. And she was awaiting for Vi's actions. She still had hesitations regarding the whole situation. Whether she should get the gemstone and complete the weapon for SILCO or not, whether she'd make her butterflies explode or not, it was all on standby as she watched if Vi would really cross that bridge all the way up to Piltover, and if she'd really become one of them and leave her behind again. As she saw Vi stop and say she couldn't leave her, Jinx appeared calm and didn't want to listen to Milo when Vi was hugging Caitlyn. She wouldn't leave me, not again, she then tells herself and watches some more, waiting to see if Vi would keep her word. Things escalated when Echo and Caitlyn are stopped by Marcus. But even though Jinx seemed unhappy with Echo having the gemstone, and seemed to be watching, and perhaps worrying when he got shot, the moment she really gets angry and unleashes the butterflies is when she sees Vi coming back for Caitlyn, breaking her words and therefore, in Jinx's mind twisted by Milo's poisonous words, making her decision and abandoning her again.
Liar.
Jinx was ready not to get the gemstone back and not unleashing her butterflies to explode because she thought Vi was coming back for her. Even since the light up the flare scene, she had hope and faith in her. But Marcus betraying SILCO by stealing the gemstone, Echo betraying her for stealing that gemstone, and Vi betraying her for Caitlyn, was too much, and she made her decision to stay on SILCO's side. In my opinion, and since it clearly shows that Jinx crafting these butterflies was to get back at the Firelights, since she started working on them right after the cargo scene, and seeing how she colored them in the smoke in the Firelights colors, and had them glow like the Firelight symbol, I think there are two options. First is that she intended to blow the bridge to get back at Piltover for her childhood trauma, which clearly shows since the lullaby she's humming after the explosion is the one she was singing in the first scene of the show, but make it look like the Firelights had done it, as to get back at them somehow, but she didn't really seem to care about SILCO wanting the same thing, or Topsiders thinking they were the ones attacking the bridge. The only thing she wanted was to get back at the Firelights. Second option is that she had a whole other plan in mind at first, since we could clearly see she was working on these butterflies since the Get JINX'D scene, but regarding the following events and the path her thoughts and feelings and anxiety had taken, bombing the bridge ended up being the convenient thing to do. But I think what she had in mind for her initial plan was blowing the Firelights' hideout itself, and not the bridge. To get revenge on them. I thought of this, since she clearly was thinking about bombing something with these butterflies, before the bridge was locked down and before SILCO needed that blocus to be over with, and even before the Firelights took the gemstone from her. Before all that, she had already started crafting glowing butterflies made to explode in the Firelights' colors. And she started working on these, just after they made her appear weak during the cargo fight.
I know, just Just some wannabe street trash. I got confused, that's all. Now, he thinks I'm weak.
Also, we can see from the scene where Vi, Caitlin, and Echo go out of the Firelights hideout that Vi says, "I never saw so many though." While talking about the Firelights they see on their way to the bridge, which could be a mere sentence, but I think it's got its sense. When Echo returns wounded at the Firelights hideout with Himendiger, they break the ground and thousands of Firelights come out of it, as if they were hiding under the ground. So, unusual Firelights surrounding the Firelights hideout from side to side. The inside ground itself, around the tree, and at the exit, where Vi has never seen so many Firelights. What if JINX harvested those Firelights, so that there were so many around the Firelights hideout, and intended, at first, to hide her glowing butterflies among them, as to bomb the place up? It is to me, what was her original plan? I think when she left SILCO's office, to go after the Firelights, and so get back the gemstone, she went there with her butterflies to bomb the place, and get back the gemstone. But as she ran into them, she then went to the bridge, and decided to wait to see if I would really cross that bridge until Piltover, before deciding on doing anything. It's just an hypothesis of course, for this part at least, but Act 2 and 3 clearly showed that JINX was thinking about getting back at the Firelights at first, while she crafted those butterflies, even if everything went wrong on that bridge, and she ended up getting back at the enforcers as well as she intended to make the Firelights take the fall for her bombing. But fun fact is that Marcus was the one who was made to follow up that story and tell Piltover the Firelights were the one bombing things up, even since Progress Day. But I guess JINX didn't like him shooting at Echo, nor did she like to learn that he was the one who took Vi away from her, nor did she like him taking back the gemstone, and therefore betraying SILCO. So she had to end him like she does with everyone that hurts her, and on whom she needs to take revenge. There's no need to show how JINX likes to take revenge on people who harm her, or her feelings. She has shown that perfectly clear with Caitlin, SEVIKA, or Marcus, who she killed not giving a damn about SILCO who might still need him. She had deduced from what Vi told her that Marcus was probably the one who arrested her, and in a matter of a few hours, she didn't think twice, and killed him, and the enforcers without second thought, just to take revenge on him for taking her sister away.
Marcus never told me she was in Stillwater.
She even killed that damn bird in the arcade, just because he frightened and surprised her. Anyway, let me know what you think of all that. I really hope I have made you discover some interesting things with this analysis. See you soon, guys.